Hello everyone, welcome back to the Spicy Bookish Podcast with me, Nikita,
and me, Tia,
also known as Ginger and Spice.
Beautiful. We haven't been here in a while. That felt weird. Like I almost forgot what my words were.
I know. As I started talking, then when I said hello everyone, welcome back, I thought, wait, what are my lines here?
What is my part in
Yeah.
this? Obviously,
But it rolled off the tongue.
I'm Spice. But yeah, it felt weird.
Yeah. So it's obviously been a few weeks since we've been here, filming and, you know, putting a new episode up. So we appreciate everybody's patience. I know there is quite a few of you who do like to watch the pods on like a Sunday, especially in the mornings if I can get it up early enough. So yeah, we appreciate your patience whilst we try to fumble our way through life the last few weeks.
Literally, like Bambi.
Yeah.
Bambi on ice is what we've been doing.
I mean, I was going to say it's not been great, it's been terrible, but it hasn't been terrible. You know, as we like to over-exaggerate.
Massively.
It's not been terrible. It's been a really fucking good time, but obviously it's been very tiring. And then after the brunch, we were both exhausted, and then I don't know if I just crashed and got not well from like just the tiredness of it all and the exhaustion, or, which is more likely, someone was a super spreader at that brunch.
Yeah.
Because there was a few people that were unwell after that had the cold.
My friend that came along messaged in our group chat and was like, is anyone else dying? Like, physically dying? She was like, I died yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, actually, funny enough, Nikita is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't in great shape. Grape shape? I wasn't in great shape. Oh my God.
You and her that just passed it to each other.
Well, I don't know, because Modern Mum, she had the
Was
cold.
she not well either?
She's only just getting over it now, so I reckon someone's given it to me and I must have given it to her.
Yeah.
Must have been the passing on.
The passage.
Joe, he was not well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you are the spreader.
Yeah, maybe it was me. Maybe I was the super spreader. Uh-oh.
Awkward.
My apologies if you're listening and you were there, and also you were unwell.
Yeah.
I am sorry about that if it was me.
I was unscathed.
Yeah. That's because we've barely seen each other.
I know, I don't actually remember. I think I hunted you down maybe twice, the whole...
I found you, yeah, I think twice as well. I found you one time because Dolce came on.
Yeah.
And we were singing that.
Then I found you because we had to have a picture together, and then we had to do the walk-in. Then I found you to do the sunglasses.
And the
think
Patreon.
That was it.
Patreon video we did as well
the
together.
Patreon. Oh, actually, we did see each other quite a lot.
Oh, yeah, but it was only for a couple of minutes each time.
Yeah.
Like, max 5 minutes and then, like, 10 minutes together to do Patreon.
I don't understand how the time went so quickly. Like, I was everywhere. I felt like I was everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So, I guess this little preamble ramble, which, if you're listening and you were the person that gave me that phrase, thank you very much, because it's stuck.
Yeah.
So the preamble ramble is now going to be about the brunch to begin with. I do have some other things we want to talk about as well. But before we get into the brunch really quickly, I've been talking to a couple of people on our podcast page in the DMs, and, you know, we're very open about, like, feedback and gauging what people want from us, because it's all well and good. Like, obviously we do whatever we want to do and what we find fun and stuff like that. But also we want to put out content that people want to see as well. So
sure.
if there's, like, things that people want to see, we're, like, well open. And I think, like, I don't know if, like, you know when people ask for feedback sometimes and it can make you feel a bit uncomfortable because you're like, oh, I don't want to be, like, I don't want to say anything mean, or I don't want anyone to take anything the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, we won't, by the way. Like, even if you feel like it's a bit negative, or I don't really like, you know, oh, I preferred your studio, or I preferred your podcast when you were in front of the bookshelves. Like, if that's what you prefer, you can say that. Like, we're not gonna, like, lose our shit because someone has an opinion, by the way. So yeah, just be open with us. We are absolutely open to recommendations and anything that you want to see, and also constructive criticism as well. Like, we're just trying to get through the days as best as possible.
Wait, back to that circle round. Like, make it criticism that we can work on. Don't just be like,
that was shit. Yeah.
Full stop.
And then offer no further context. Yeah. Give
This
us
is
something
shit.
to work with.
I don't even know why I'm here. Okay, well, what can we do about that?
Yeah. Give us something to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're happy to take that on board. Anyway, so some of the conversations when in the DMs, I sort of said to people, you know, if there's anything you want to see, anything you really liked or really didn't like, you know, let us know so we can either do more of that or never do it again. And quite a few people had said that they enjoy the preamble the preamble rambles. So when we talk about just like random stuff, and especially when we talk about our lives, so a couple of people had said like, I'd love to see more personal stuff.
Yeah.
So talking about our lives outside of what we're doing just for, you know, Bookstagram and book talk or content creation and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to work on that. I think we've gotten into this like natural loop of where we just naturally don't talk about our lives because everything is just so book focused.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Maybe the podcasts are like our little safe space where we can start talking a little bit more about our personal lives. Do you know what I mean? It does, obviously, you know, as much as we feel comfortable with sharing, of course. Like, what you have to bear in mind is we live and breathe what we're doing at the minute. So we are spread hella thin.
Yeah.
There isn't much time in our lives for anything other than, like, obviously Tia's working full time, so she's spread even thinner. And this has now become my full-time job, plus the reading on top. Like, we can't review books if we're not reading, and you need time to read.
Yeah.
So it's the time to read, the time to write our notes, and everything else in between, which I'm not going to get into, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that nobody even thinks about that take time. Even just the organisation of what are we filming on what day. We go, right, okay, just as a really small example. If we go, right, let's do book boyfriends, this or that for socials because we love it and that's fun. We need a song. We're not one of those people that always like using the same song. I know lots of people do it because they want to replicate the success of like previous ones, but we always like choosing different songs, so let's keep it fresh, don't we?
I did say though, I was like, should we just pick the same song for the sake of just fucking filming this, because this has been on our to do.
Yeah, specifically book boyfriends, this or that. Yeah.
Like actual months.
But yeah, so filming something like that it's not just a case of like, I mean, you could just get in front of the camera and wing it and do all the rest of it after, but it's like you need a list of the boyfriends because how do you know what side you're going to walk to?
Yeah.
You know, we're not just out here faking it and then adding it all in after and we're just like, well, we'll just go one side or the other. We've got a whole list.
We've got a list. I've had a list
What you see
prepared.
on the screen when we post it is exactly the list that we were doing when we were filming it, and we film it. So what we like to do is we have the sound, and we press play on the sound, and then we intro in with that music. So it's straight into it. So there's no like, oh, we'll just film it and add the song after. Anyway, we've been talking about this recently about how we can sometimes make life more difficult for ourselves because of the type of content that we decide to film. Anyway, my point was that we get so consumed in the content creation and the filming and the reading and the reviews. And also we work with authors. So we've got that on top of it as well, you know, and we need to give them the time that they deserve as well, because these are indie authors that don't have massive budgets for marketing, like, you know, as if someone who's with a publisher does. So we want to make sure that we give them the time and attention that they deserve. Sorry, I just had to turn the fan off in the room because it was making me cough. So if I sound like Darth Vader for a little bit, I'm just recovering from
with it.
Basically dying from coughing then. Let's get back to our preamble ramble, seeing as that's what a lot of you would like to hear more of. So obviously in July we had the brunch. That was our big event. And like we said, we only seen each other a couple of times over the period of the brunch. So the brunch was like 12:30 to 4:30, and we were very strict about getting everybody out on time because the room actually had another event in about an hour after us, an hour and a half after us. And we were obviously like very conscious because last year we had like people that kind of like lingered around. But we did well getting everybody out.
Yeah. It was very emotional.
Oh,
it was very, very emotional. And I think it's because, so we'd been there since about 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one point where we got there, we had all of the stuff, it was all out with fucking nowhere to go. And we just looked at it and we was like, okay, now what? Like, where does all of these things go? We need tables. We
were so prepared. We had everything. There was nothing missing, I would say. We absolutely hit the brief from learning from last year.
Yeah.
And so we took everything with us and we were like, we've got everything. But then we got there in the day and we were like, well, where do we put it all? Where is it all going? Because in principle, in our heads, it's like, we'll put these on the tables and we'll put that. And then we got in there and we were like, there isn't as many tables as we thought there was going to be.
Oh, do you know what else was really stressful? So that's one thing that you've got to think about, because there was no tables like in the middle. So like we had all these thoughts about, oh my God, we've got so much to go on tables with no tables.
Yeah.
But then also, so we had like the shimmer wall, and then we had the poker situation.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had seating for like a couple more authors, all going in this like small space. And we were like, well, that's not gonna happen, is it? That's not gonna fit in there. So that had to be sorted.
It wasn't even a small space. It was a large space, but everything that had to fit in there was also equally large.
No.
And talking about that, so we then we got the roulette table. We got the roulette table in, and we're like, right. And I really like that we did put that on an angle and not straight. That did help. And there was like these two massive chairs, which were really cool. And they did fit the vibe, but we had to get rid of them. They were like big, high back, bougie chairs, but we had to get rid of them. The authors, so we had like 2 authors left over that we couldn't fit on all the seatings at the back. So like, right, we'll put them on these bougie chairs just to do their signings for the welcome drinks. Had to get rid of those chairs. So then we had to put the last remaining authors over in the corner, which wasn't great, but needs be. And then the shimmer wall, the disco wall, I should call it, started to come in. And the staircase is quite narrow, so when you get up to the top of the stairs, it's a hard right. So it's like literally a 90-degree turn to the door to go into the room. So if you imagine taking this, it was 2.4 meters by, so it came in 2 halves. So it was 2.4 meters by like 1.5 meters.
Yeah.
Trying to get that through a narrow staircase and then turning through the door, and the feet were already fixed on. They got the first half of it in. The second half, it was like 10 past 12. It still wasn't in. They were still trying to maneuver it in. And then I turned around and the guy from the company had a saw out. I was sawing the leg off to get it in the door. And I was like, we start in 15 minutes.
So I went out because people started coming up and I was like, no, we're not ready yet. Like, we're not ready.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, that's okay, we can just go back down and get a drink. There was like no one that we were speaking to. So, because my mum and godmother were on the door, so they must have just come up and just bypassed them.
Yeah.
Which was fine, but obviously it was because it was early. And they were like, oh, do you want this? And they just picked the saw up that was on the floor with the bits that were still. I was like, I have no idea where that came from. So that's great. So, I mean, now I know. He was
literally
sawing off legs.
Sawing out that, and I was like, I stood there and I was watching it. I was like, I'm conflicted here because I'm like, the dedication to get this in, 15 out of 10.
Yeah.
But also, we need to hurry this along.
Considering we've been there at 9 o'clock in the morning and it started at 12:30, the fact that the poker table and the shimmer wall were coming in with 15 minutes to spare, I was like, this is utter carnage.
Well, everyone was supposed to arrive at like 11:30, so we told all the authors, if you can arrive at sort of like 11:15, 11:30, that would be great if you've got pre-orders. If you don't have pre-orders, which there was only like 1 or 2, then just arrive early at 12 so we can get you all seated, blah, blah, blah. But then that meant that everyone started arriving at the same time because the photographers turned up at 12:30, but the wall turned up at 11:30, the roulette table turned up 11:30, then the DJ turned up not long after that. All of the authors, saxophone guy, everyone turned up at the same time. And I was like, that's one thing we didn't think about was there's only 2 of us and there's 8 people arriving.
I know. And do you know what? Like, I wanted to be able to sit with the authors and have like a proper drink and have a proper chat with them.
Yeah.
But we weren't in a position to be able to do that because there was just so much going on in such a small amount of time.
I barely got to speak to them. I'm glad. So Tia did sit with them for a while, like quite a while throughout the brunch, and I was just spent the whole time mingling on the floor.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you did that because I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
Every time I tried to get over there, I was like pulled back in. Do you know what I mean? And as soon as we went over that way, it was like, can we have a picture by the wall? And should we take a picture? So I could never get quite past everyone to get to the back where all the authors were. So the way it worked, just if anyone wasn't there, we had welcome drinks for an hour, and that was between 12:30 and 1:30. And during the welcome drinks was also the pre-orders and the signings for the authors. So we had all the authors had their own little sign with their name on it, so that when people arrived, they knew where to go, because obviously not all of these authors show their face online.
No.
So it was important that they knew where to go. So we gave them all, like, some of them were sharing a table. I think we had Lee Rolls on her own table because she had quite a lot of pre-orders. And then little seats around that people could sit on and, like, get their books signed and all that kind of stuff. And then at 1 o'clock, so right in the middle of the pre-orders, the saxophone guy started, and I'm so glad we had him because it really set the tone, and it sort of
so good.
slowly started to lift the mood. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
While people were sort of talking and getting to know each other rather than having these like bangers on in the background. And then so he played until 2:00, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the welcome drinks ended at 1:30, and then once we sort of knew that everyone had kind of picked up their pre-orders and stuff, we got rid of the signs for the authors. Because a couple of them, they didn't say it until after, but they came up to me after and was like, I'm so glad you moved away those signs because it felt like we were on show.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't think about it that way. And it just worked out really well. And that was exactly what we wanted, because I know I was explaining this to a couple of authors and, you know, guests that were there, that you can go to these like book signing events and, you know, it's very much like, well, they're the authors and we're the readers, and it's like clear line between the two of you. You go to their table, you move on, you go to the table, and there's never really, it's like superficial connection, it feels almost, because it's small talk on the outside. And what you want is to put people into, or what we wanted, into a really nice relaxed environment where you could have those like more deeper, meaningful conversations about the author's work as well. Talk about your favourite scenes that you loved and the spicy scenes, and you know, have a laugh about it, but also talk about other books and connect over other authors that you and that author love as well. So it's about it being a bit more casual.
I think I wanted to be very specific, especially with the authors, in that this isn't a book event. Like, this isn't an event where people are going to come and buy your books, and that's going to be like the main thing. This is our let's have a few drinks, let's have a laugh, let's dance, let's talk about books event. Like, and I want the authors to be able to mingle,
but also we want to be able to give them that the ability to highlight as well of their work. And obviously people love like having physical books as well, and I would love it. Like, I just think if I was a paying guest, that's what I would want as well. I would love that, to be like, oh, I've got some pre-orders to pick up, I'll take a little bag with me, have a little dance, have some food, get a little bit boozy, and then I go home with loads of goodies.
Oh, we were so annoyed that we didn't do any pre-orders. We physically didn't even think about it.
No, we didn't even think. I know, it wasn't until like, was it like the night before, we were like, fucking hell, we haven't pre-ordered anything when we were doing like the last of gift bags.
There were so many things I wanted as well.
I know, we literally didn't pre-order anything at all, which so something to learn for next year. And we have said that we will like write ourselves like, what did we learn, what worked, what didn't work, like that kind of thing, so that we can improve again next year for the next summer brunch. There's obviously we've had lots of questions since then, more so from people that didn't attend, about when is the next one, you know, we really want to go. And obviously the next brunch technically is ACOTAR. The next brunch that is set up and framed the same way that the Mafia one was is, you know, at the moment next summer, and that's always going to be like our summer brunch. If we decide to do more, we will obviously let you know at the time, but that is definitely going to be something where we will probably spring that on you after we've already made the arrangements. That's going to be like, we've booked it, here's the ticket link, if you want to come, we'll see you there. It's in Easter, or
I think it's like the
whenever.
timing thing. Like, we spoke about this yesterday, didn't we? We said about the timing thing, because where schools finish, there's a lot of women who couldn't come because they've got to look after their children, which is totally fair. Like, we totally get that. And I think it was like the lead up was when the schools were finishing for the summer holidays, and I think that just caused utter carnage. So, I mean, we definitely probably will think about making it a bit earlier so that there is people that can make arrangements.
Because I think, like, because we obviously have to bear in mind our demographic that we're going out to here, and it is quite a broad demographic, but it's generally sort of like 25 all the way up to about 44. And a lot of that age bracket has children, and the feedback on that is the people with the kids that can make it is, if it's summer holidays, they've got people looking after the kids during the week while they go to work, that they can't then ask them to also look after them at the weekend. And obviously we get that. As a parent myself, I understand it. I mean, I don't need to make use of that anymore, but I do get it from when it was a fucking nightmare trying to get childcare in general, never mind during the holidays when you've still got to go to work. So we do totally get it. So it is something we can definitely test the waters with next year, is doing it not during summer half term and doing it beforehand, and just seeing how we go. I mean, all the tickets sold anyway, so you know, it's not like there wasn't enough people to fill the room or anything, but we want to be able to give everybody a fair chance to come. And if we're constantly doing it during the summer half term, there's a huge group of people that aren't getting the opportunity to come along then.
Yeah, for sure.
And that doesn't feel fair. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even if we were to rotate it year on year, or have two, we could even get to the point where we do 2 summer brunches. We do an early summer brunch and we do a later summer brunch.
An opening summer brunch.
Yeah.
And a closing summer brunch.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad.
That sounds great.
Obviously there's been lots of questions as well about like doing one up north, whether that's in Scotland, whether that's in like the Midlands kind of way. There has been lots of questions about that. And I just want to highlight also the people that travel down from the north for this brunch. So many people left at like 6-7 o'clock in the morning to drive down.
2 girls came from Dublin.
Yeah.
And got a flight that morning, and a couple of boozy ones. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
And then just turned up at the brunch.
Yeah. I think that's fucking epic. I think that is, honestly, that's like,
And then
that's
they were like,
main character energy.
going home now.
Yeah.
Fair play.
And then,
Fucking love that.
yeah, so many people like came down from up north, just driving down. They were like, oh yeah, my husband drove us like 4 hours. And also, you know, well done, husbands.
Big up the husbands. Who
Yeah.
put a lot of effort in.
Yeah.
Like, I am thoroughly impressed.
Some people were like, you know, oh yeah, my husband drove me down this morning. You know, he's gonna drive back after. And I was like, oh, where is he at the minute? And she was like, I don't fucking know. I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
That is the energy
He's
I
off.
like.
He's just off doing his thing.
Who cares?
gives a
I'm here.
fuck?
That's the most important thing. And I was like, I love it. Honestly, everyone like really brought the vibes.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. I mean,
loved
all
it.
in all, it was a huge raving success. And I mean, I feel like it just couldn't have gone any better. Do you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
sure there's always room for improvement in everything that you do. Of course there is. And is there little niggly things? Yeah, absolutely. But probably more like from our perspective as opposed to other people. I mean, also, if you were at the brunch and you do have any feedback or constructive criticism, please send it to us, because
we'd love
this
to
is
know.
not an event just for us. This is an event actually more for everybody else. This isn't about like, oh, we're just going to do something that we like, and if you want to come along, you can. This is for people.
Yeah.
So if there's something, again, that you think we could have improved on, or if there was something that specifically you loved and you'd like to see it again, let us know. The 360 camera last year was such a big hit, but he had props and stuff last year, but it was the sun that came last year.
Yeah.
And he had props and stuff last year, and he was so good at manning it, but also there was like a third of the amount of people last year, and everybody loved it last year. This year, I think it was the dad that was there, but they didn't bring any props with them, but I don't think we gave them enough room. And I did say when he was setting it up, like, not to him, but like to myself, I was thinking, I don't think surely that's not going to fit in there. It did fit in there, and he did say this is enough space. But when I was watching the whirly gig thing go around, it was shaking.
Right.
And I think that's because we confined it into a space
Yeah.
too much. So that's like a really small thing that I would be conscious of. So next year I'd be like, I'm going to bring it back. I want the branding on the videos beforehand. I need to double check that, because the brunch thing wasn't on that, the text. He had to add that in after. And also, I want to make sure that he's got enough space, and we have to test run it first.
Yeah.
Before everyone arrives, to make sure that there is no banging, because it has to be a seamless twirl. So that's like really niggly things that maybe other people might not have noticed. They might have noticed if it, you know, was shaking a bit in their shot.
Wait, are we booking them for Akatar?
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for the next bunch, that's like a little niggly thing. I learned from it. I was conscious of it. Next time I'll go, okay, I'm going to look out for it.
Yeah, I like it.
But all in all, it was a great success, and we had such a good time. Next year, I think this year we could definitely manage without it, but next year we're going to need some official help. Like, I think we have actually said this before, we're going to need some kind of assistant to some degree on, you know, a brunch by brunch basis, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, and that's it really. It was really good. I don't really have anything else to report on that. We've been talking for like 34 minutes now. By the time you get to this, it might be a little bit shorter.
Also, I have already told everyone that it's going to be Cowboy. I told everyone at the brunch. I was too excited. I was like, I've made an executive decision. And
Yeah.
everyone's well up for it. And also, we missed it this year, didn't we? We did miss the Cowboy.
We did miss the
theme.
cowboy thing. The only thing I was thinking was, and, you know, no offense to the people that were downstairs, but the people that were downstairs were also having an event, and that was cowboy themed. And when I looked in, I was like, Is that a bit tacky? It's giving Hindu.
Yeah, but we're not tacky.
No, I know we're not tacky.
Yeah.
But I just don't want the vibe to end up tacky.
Trust me, it won't.
Okay.
Not when it comes to us.
Okay. I'll trust you.
Thank you.
I mean, you've already told everyone now. There's nothing to do about it.
Yep.
So yeah, we think cowboy for next summer.
I'm going to spend the next year making sure it's not tacky.
Yeah.
I've got 365 days.
Pinterest board up. Not tacky cowboy event.
Unless we do proper Western, we scrap the cowboy situation. Obviously, that is still cowboy, but you know, like, if you say cowboy, then they turn up with frickin' the cowboy hats that are all in glitter.
We're going to have to ban them. I'm going to have to say, please.
If we do Western, though,
yeah,
that's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So we don't want bridal shower cowboy. We want
guns.
Authentic Western cowboy. Yeah. Chaps.
Yo, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
More darker vibes, I guess, as well, rather than...
I want everyone in Wranglers.
Yeah.
How about that?
Or Wrangler denim shorts, I guess, because it'll be hot.
Yeah.
But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That's it for the brunch. What else happened in July? After the brunch, I died for a week. And I've struggled to get back on my feet since, to be honest. And obviously, because of the brunch, I haven't read much in July. Somehow, Tia has still managed to read a lot of books. So I have read 10 books in July. And actually, I thought, when I was counting them up, I actually thought that was going to be about 7. So I was surprised it was even 10, to be honest. But in all honesty, I could have left it at about 8 and not done, like, the extras that I have had to do. Zodiac Academy was like, ZA9 was like reading 3 books in one. Honestly, I was like, oh, it's like, 800 pages or whatever. But then you open it up and the font is so small you need a fucking magnifying glass. Do you know what I mean?
So I couldn't actually read it from the physical copy because I was like, I can't, that's too small. So I had to earball, sure, and use this. Because then it was like normal thingy.
Normal size text. Yeah.
So when you read the physical book, it's like 750 pages. But when you read it on your Kindle, it's like 1,000 and something. And I was like, honestly, I need that Kindle's helping me.
Yeah.
Having that small, and I was like, that's got to be 3 normal pages on
I was just about to say, it felt like every page I read, it felt like it was taking a lifetime to get through just one page. And I was like, that's because the font is so small. But I did it. I really didn't think I was going to get through it. I'll talk about Zodiac Academy and my experience of it, especially book 9, because it was such a wildly different experience for me than I had with books 8 and 8.5. But I'll talk about that when we do the ZA pod, which actually we're filming after this, but you'll probably see it before. Don't ask. Just roll with it. Oh, it's hot in here, isn't it?
I'm actually all right. So I've done 19 books this month, and I've had a whale of a time. And do you know what? Like, because obviously I listen to a lot of books at work or to and from work, I've done a lot of books where I haven't had to think, I need to make notes on this, I need to do like all of these things.
Yeah.
So I've just kind of had like a really good time.
You've just been able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than it feeling a bit more stressful. Yeah, I do miss doing that. We did say that a little while ago, and that's why we stripped back the themed podcasts.
Yeah.
So that we could start reading just stuff that we liked without having to make notes for the pod on it. And then what we were doing for like a month or two was we would just handpick a few of those books that we really loved or that we really didn't like to then talk about in the wrap up.
Yeah.
But the rest outside of that we could just enjoy. We kind of do need to get back to that, doing that a little bit.
I think we should.
Just out here, just reading whatever without
I had a great time.
any pressure. Yeah.
And do you know what? Like, I've bought a lot of books recently, and I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to get around to that, because that is not a theme that we plan on doing anytime soon.
Exactly.
I think that's why I said to you the other day, I was like, we haven't done a dark romance theme in a while. It's because I've bought like 5 dark romance books.
We do need to do a dark romance theme, especially with like the discourse around haunted Adeline and stuff like that. We could even do a podcast that is like where we reread haunting Adeline and then we read and review the other books, the ones that we talked about online. Is that something you guys would want to see? Would you want like a pod based around haunting Adeline, and then we can talk about all the other books that like
we compared to it? Obviously we did read Haunted Adeline ages ago, so we might read it now and we're like, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did say that
That's
to
got something
someone.
about it.
I did say to someone, like, I wasn't overly enamored with it at the time. However, that was a long time ago and I've grown since then. So if I reread it, I could be like, oh, actually, that's all right. And I did enjoy it. And I am all for, same with Pucking Around. I do think to myself, if I read that now, would I be like, oh yeah, that was all right. That was actually really good. But at the time, I didn't really like it. Because I would love to reread a book and go, actually, I was the problem.
Yeah.
The book wasn't the problem, I was the problem.
We could be the problem. Okay, so you need to let us know. Do you want us to review Haunting and Hunting Adeline? And we will come at you with a proper review and be like,
yeah,
that's what it is.
And then we'll review some others as well that are like darker or, you know, around that kind of realm. Slightly darker.
Yeah.
Or a lot fucking worse. Do you know what I mean? There's some that we haven't read that, you know, people were putting in the comments as well that we could actually do, rather than going back and rereading books that you know, we've already read.
It's that stalker vibe, isn't it? We need like some books that have got that stalker vibe that we can then do the comparison to. Yeah.
It's like the consent situation that's like everyone has, you know, in uproar. Yeah. We can put that in for some time soon. So I'm not going to get into the whole Haunting Adeline conversation and stuff because I just don't think I don't care enough about these haters to give it the time of day to have a full discussion about it.
Yeah.
All I will say on behalf of the two of us is, if you want to read it, just fucking read it. And you all know that this is a safe space. We are a safe space. If you like reading dark stuff and you think that might be questionable to people in your life you've got no one to talk to, feel free to send us a DM. We are always replying to DMs, especially on Instagram, and we will have a chat with you. Like, or leave us a comment on Spotify or anywhere where you're listening. We will talk to you about it. If you don't want it to be public, send us a DM. We will have a chat about it. When I say that this is a safe, judgment-free zone, we absolutely mean it. You can read whatever you want. We will not judge you for it. And if you want to talk about it, you come to us, we'll talk about it.
We've read some shit that we have absolutely loved.
Yeah.
And it is
not
questionable
as
fuck.
Yep, very, very fucking questionable.
And yet we loved it.
So if it makes you happy and you're enjoying reading it, fuck everybody else and do whatever makes you happy. You know, you only get one chance at this life. And I always think to myself, your hobby could be so much worse. And I know people say, so I could be out doing drugs, but you could be. You could be a meth head. You could be addicted to heroin.
Yep.
You could be living on the streets. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could be so much fucking worse. All you're doing is just reading some fucking words on the page. Like, if it makes you happy and you enjoy it, just fucking do it.
Just
do you
don't
know what I mean?
murder in real life.
Yeah.
Like, don't do half of these things that these people do.
Yeah.
Because that will get you done.
I mean, that's a given. I feel like that's just... people shouldn't have to say that. I don't want to get into this conversation properly, but people shouldn't have to say that because surely that's common sense. Anyway, that's as much as we'll say on the discussion. If you want to read it, read it. I don't give a shit. Okay, so let's take it back to the books now. Let's take it back to the books that we read in July. So, like I said, I read 10, Tia read 19. That's low even for me. Obviously, I wasn't well for a week, and for that whole week that I wasn't well, I actually didn't read anything, like a single thing. I didn't even audiobook anything. I was just laying in bed, passing away slowly.
Physically dying, yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I have enjoyed reading less. I just wish that there wasn't lots of other external stressors so I could have enjoyed the fact that I read less.
Yeah.
But I couldn't enjoy it because I was busy doing other things. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone. Anyway, so to confirm, we've got 2 books each to talk about. Tia wants to quickly talk about one that she's currently reading at the minute. And then we've got Maddison Cole's Rivals Pledge. So I couldn't get that out then.
The one with the plot twist.
We did work with Maddison. If you've seen the videos on socials, we did work with her for this one. And if you've read any of Maddison Cole's work, she is just like a why choose OG. Like, she knows how to do a slow burn college academic with a bit of bullying, why choose. And they are like all the things I love. We were actually talking about this earlier, not about Maddison Cole, but just about tropes and stuff that we love, about like if we were ever to write a book. And we had said, why choose academic, dark, bit of bullying. Like, fucking love that shit.
All over that.
Yeah.
The other thing with Maddison Cole, that fuck me, does she love a plot twist. That, expected every time you read one. And also, I always find whenever I read her books, I'm like, how the fuck do you know all of this?
Yeah.
Like, How do you know all of these things? I don't understand.
Like
you must be so brainy.
But also, I think like a lot of research goes into it. Do you remember when we read Darling Wildfire and I read the acknowledgement?
Yeah.
I read the author's note at the end, and she was talking about all the research that she put into learning about that.
It's actually wild.
Because it's not just a case of like a lot of the time sitting down and just writing a book. Okay, so let's get into our book reviews now, and we're gonna try and rattle through these. We'll try not to make this too long. Actually, I don't think my notes aren't that long, to be fair, for each one. So my 2 books are Ryan Redemption by Sadie Kincaid. That's a Mafia book. That is book 2 in the
Ryan series. Ryan Rules.
Ryan Rule. No, the first book is Ryan Rule. Is it London Ruthless? No.
It's going to be
It's a Ruthless ones. It's a Ruthless series. If you know what it is, let me know. I didn't fucking write it down, did I? And then my second book is Twisted Play by Poppy Jacobson. Now, both of those books were supposed to be talked about in the Mafia podcast that we were supposed to do right before the brunch, but we obviously cancelled that because we didn't have enough time. Now, this book, Twisted Play, was hockey. Now, I had seen this in someone's rec video on Instagram, and it was under Why Choose Mafia. So I obviously went, that looks great, Twisted Play, down for that. And it was like hockey, it was down as like hockey, mafia, blah, blah, blah. Now, what I didn't know was it's part of it. I think it's a duet. So obviously there is still time for the mafia to be involved. One of the main characters is called Alexander. Alex for short, but it's Aleks with a K, so like Russian, and he does have an accent in the audio book. So I'm thinking, I think that might be where it comes in. So I think there might be a tiny little touch of it, but there wasn't in this book. I think the word bratva was said maybe twice, so you know,
which could be in any
arguable.
book.
Yeah,
any book could say bratva twice.
It's now Mafia because they said bratva. And that's my 2 books, and then obviously we'll finish with Maddison Cole's rival. Bleh. Why can't I say that? Rival Pledge.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Okay, what are your books that you're doing?
So I'm going to discuss one scene that's in Coming In Hot by Trelina Pucci, which actually came out on the 28th of July. So it's in the same series as 3 Ways to Mend a Broken Heart.
So, really quickly, I'm not actually reading this. She did send us an ARC. I'm not reading it because I don't have time to read it, unfortunately. However, I fucking bummed the shit out of the audios for that series specifically. So the first 2 books were 3 Ways to Mend a Broken Heart, and what was the other one?
Not So Lucky.
Not So Lucky, that was it. So I think I'm going to wait for the audio, and then I'll do it.
Is going to wipe... If she does a full cast audio, because it's 3 guys, 1 FMC.
Were the others full cast?
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah.
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 Oh.
Yeah. When I tell you about this scene, you'll understand why. If you hear this in your ear holes, you will fucking cry. I nearly fainted earlier. I was like, oh my God. Okay, my next one is All I Have, Part 1 and Part 2 by Ames Mills. So this is book 3 and book 4 in the Abs Valley series.
Nice.
And then Hunter's Game by Jasmine Ray. So I did actually post about this on stories.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, whoever suggested that I read this book, you need to come forward because I've got some fucking words to have with you. Because I was like, I'll get into it properly, but the next book, I even messaged the author and I was like, can I have the next book now, please?
Yeah.
And it's not even written. So, great. I honestly can't wait to talk about it because it was fucking insane. And then we'll do Rival's Pledge.
Nice. Yeah. So, I think what we should do is, do you want to quickly go through your Trelina Pucci scene and then go straight into your first book? Because I have done a lot of talking and I want to fill up my drink.
Absolutely.
Is that all right? I'm going to set my mic down now and I'm going to fill up my drink.
Okay, let's talk about Coming In Hot by Trelina Pucci. So this is book 3 in the series. I can't even remember what the series is called, but it's the one that's got 3 Ways to Mend a Broken Heart. And honestly, it is spectacular. So this is going to be like the summer book. The summer Why Choose book. So I've only just started this book and I'm about halfway through, and honestly, I am obsessed. So it's only a novella. I think it's like 215 pages, which is grand. They are all short. I don't know when their audio is going to be out yet, but honestly, when this audio is out, it's going to be perfection. So just as a quick rundown, you have got Margot, and she was married to a guy. They were married for like 20 years, and then he was like, I'm fucking my assistant, so we're done. He was like, you know, this is love, what me and Poppy, the assistant, have. Oh, and she's pregnant. And she was like, well, fuck you then. So he's then getting with her. She was like, you know what? I'm going to take all of your money. I'm going to take all of your money and then see what your limp dick can do when Poppy is like, you're now not good enough because you've got no cash and your dick don't work properly. So she is then like, okay, I'm going to go on this yoga retreat. So she's got all of his cash now. Birkin bag. I'm going to go on a yoga retreat. So it's her sister that's doing the yoga retreat. And then she's like, I'm going to go on the retreat. We're going to have a good time. I'm just going to relax and it'll be lovely. So she turns up at the yoga retreat and then there's these 3 lifeguards. So it's a reverse age gap. So she's 40, they're 28, 3 of them. But she gets into her room and she sees 2 of them having a shower together. And she's like moving around the room so that she can get like closer to them. I mean, the scene was so, like, I was belly laughing at this scene because it's absolute carnage. Her trying to basically spy on these 2 guys where they're taking all of their clothes off and she's getting hot and bothered. And then one of the lifeguards walks in and catches her staring at him. It's so fucking good. Anyway, so after that, when she speaks to her sister's like, look, you need to get laid. You don't know what you're doing. Let's just have a bit of fun. So the lifeguards are like, we can do that for you. So they set up a little meeting and they're like, we're going to teach you all of the things. So basically, like, Limp Dick has done nothing with her. So he hasn't gone down on her. She hasn't gone down on him. They've done like a 5-second, do it in the hole and then out. Done. Nothing else. So they're like, we can show you some things. Yeah. And who doesn't want 3 28-year-olds that are fucking lifeguards showing them all of the things? Yes, please. So this scene. So she goes around to the house and then the first thing that they teach her is how to suck them off. So you've got Brody, Brooks and Wells. So Wells is pierced and she's with Wells. And then Brody, oh yeah, there's swords crossing as well, by the way. So Brody and Brooks are like, we'll show you how to do it and then you do it on Wells. It's so fucking hot. So they do that. Anyway, so then after they finished, then they're like, right, now it's your turn. So they get her on the bed and they are like, it's like sensory overload. Considering a woman hasn't had any of these things happen to her before. She's got 3 guys that are on her. One's on the nips, one's on her mouth, and one's on his way down there. And she's like, oh my God, I'm overthinking about 100,000 things right now, including dinner. And she's like, I can't, like, you need to stop, you need to stop, you need to stop. And they're like, what do you need? And she's like, right, I need a candle, I need the lights turned down, and I need some music. Then literally they all scurry off, they all do their separate things, and they come back over and they're like, right, now what? What do you need? And then the 2 guys, so Brody and Brooks, clock eyes with each other and then they wink and then they go off. So when they're in this bedroom, there's like a open shower situation. So Brody and Brooks go in the shower. So then Wells is saying to her, why don't you touch yourself while you're watching them? So Brooks is about to do Brody whilst they're up against the shower. And she's in bed with Wells watching this all happen. So he's like, you just touch yourself. So she's going down on herself. She's having a little feel around. And then he whips himself out. And then he is then touching himself up against her. I'm not going to lie. This was the sexiest fucking thing I've ever watched I've ever read in my life. Like, I was nearly going to pass away. Anyway, so he's stroking himself on her. And then he says, I'm going to come on your clit and make Brooks lick it off you.
Oh.
Yeah, that nearly made me physically pass away. And then, so she's watching them do each other in the shower. Wells is then on her, touching himself. She's touching herself. And then she's like, you've got to fuck me. Like, you've got to fuck me now. Like, I am so ready. And he's like, no, I can't do it yet. I've got to wait until you're ready for all 3 of us. And then I'm going to do you down there. He's going to do you from behind. And he's going to do you in the throat. And then she's like hot and bothered. Because now she's like, oh my God, this is the hottest fucking thing that I've ever experienced in my whole life. Anyway, so they're still doing it. He's still on her. She's still touching herself. And then he finishes on her stomach. And then she's like, oh my God, like, I don't know what to do now. And he's like, I'll take over. So he then goes in her with his fingers, and then she clocks eyes with Brooks, who is then fucking Brody, in the shower, and then they all just finish at the same time.
Bloody hell. Crikey.
And I read this at work, and I was like, I might just pass away now. That might be the easiest thing to do. Honestly, it was hot as fuck. And like the lead up, because the lead up to all of this happening was just mainly her fumbling around doing stupid fucking shit. You know, like in Freeways, the FMC, she's always doing stupid shit. And this was basically that. And they were like, because they found her endearing, because she's like an older lady. And so she's just doing all of this stupid stuff all the time. And they're like, sure.
Aww.
We'll watch this happen. But honestly, it was impeccable. And I think because she was older, you know, like now that we're aging, I was like, that's great.
I can get on board with that.
I can get on board with this.
Absolutely.
Tenfold. So yeah, it was absolutely incredible. And I can't wait to get back into it. Because after that happened, I was like, oh, are they going to... Is everyone going to fuck her now? Like, is it all going to go absolutely mental? But they all just go to sleep. And they're like, that's too much for you today. You've learned too many things. Now we can go to sleep, and then we're going to wake you up, and then it's all going to kick off again.
Oh, nice.
And I think I'm only on, like, page 115 or something.
Bloody hell.
And it's only 220 pages.
I definitely want to read it. Like, I love her books, and I love the humour, and I love the spice, and that sounds absolutely insane. But I definitely think I'm going to hold out for the audio.
I know. Do you know what? They're so fucking funny. Every single one of her books is fucking hilarious. And, like, this one scene, the scene when she got into her room and she was watching Brody and Brooks have this shower, and she's, like, trying to be nonchalant watching them, but then Wells walks in and is then like, you are literally just watching them. And she's, like, fumbling and she falls over a tree and it's all just fucking awkward. I was like, this is incredible. I know I'm going to love it. And I can't wait to get back into it.
Oh. Do you want to go into your first book properly then?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm enjoying just sitting here drinking my pink Prosecco.
Okay, so I'm going to do All I Have, part 1 and part 2. So, this one is books 2 and 3 from the Abs Valley situation. So this is, if you've read Riches to Riches, this is Evander and Micah that are in those books. This is where their story unfolds. So we've got the FMC is Evie, and then we've got the MMCs. They are Matteo, Gray, Evander, Micah, and Hartley.
Bloody hell.
So Matteo and Gray, they're a thing, not a thing. So they're doing it, not doing it. Then you've got Micah and Evander that are together, and then you've got Hartley, who is the childhood sweetheart, but not, like they never got together, of the FMC. So this all started, it was Alessa's wedding at the beginning. So obviously all the guys are there because it's a mafia vibe. And Evie is working there behind the bar. She is just doing her bits, having a look around, having a great time, and then she goes outside for a little breather, and then her ex-partner that she's been on the run from for 8 months, Aaron, turns up, starts kicking off at her. Then Micah's outside with Gray, and he's like, you need to get out of here. This is not the place for you. Threatens him, ends up beating him up. They all go their separate ways. She's like, oh my God, that was so hot, but thank you so much. Then she goes inside, and then Matteo comes up to her and is like, you're cute, I like you. Can I have your number? So then he's like, let's go on a date. She's like, maybe, who knows? She ends up going to Hartley's house because she's like, I need somewhere to stay because I need to be protected because Aaron's come back, and he's like, you can stay with me, it's totally fine. So that was the beginning. Anyway, so then she goes to work because she works in a little coffee shop. Matteo turns up and he's like, how about that date then? And she's like, yeah, all right, let's do it. So then her and Matteo go out on a couple of dates, and it's all very cutesy, and they fall in love. Beautiful. And by this point, I was like, okay, I'm about 200 pages in. There's going to be 5 FMCs. Wait. There's going to be 5 MMCs. How the fuck are they all going to come into this? Because at the minute, 2 of them don't even like her. And one's like, meh, give or take. And then Hartley's obviously in love with her. I was like, I don't even know how this is going to work. Anyway, they made it work. It was really fucking great. So one time she's out with Matteo having a date, and then Aaron calls, gives her a load of shit down the phone, and he's like, who the fuck is that? Like, who's talking to you like that? And she's like, oh, that's my ex, Aaron. And he was like, wait, as in from this rival group? And she was like, yeah. Like, this guy is dangerous as shit. Like, he was like, okay, well, that's not good. Like, you're going to have to move in with us. And she's like, I'm not moving in with you. Like, I'm with Hartley. Like, everything's fine. And he's like, no, you're moving in. And then Hartley's like, she ain't fucking moving in. And he's like, she is moving in. So then Hartley was like, okay, well, I'm moving in. So, of course, all 5 of them are now living under one roof. And what happens when 5 MMCs are going to live under one roof with one woman? They're all going to fuck, obviously. And they're all going to have a really great time. So the idea around this book is, obviously, Aaron's a really bad guy. He's trying to get to her. Then they are, like, trying to chase him off and get rid of his whole gang. And that's basically all that happens. Like, genuinely, the whole way through, I was like, there was so much MM in this. I was like, I don't know At what point is she going to get involved? So she was with Matteo, and then Matteo was like, I am kind of with Gray, is that all right? And she was like, well, I might as well be with Gray as well. And I was like, well, okay, that works. And then Hartley was obviously there, and he was like, I've been in love with you for ages. And she was like, I love you too. Bosh, straight in there. And then you've got Micah and Evander that are a couple. And Micah was like, I don't trust her, but I want to fuck her. So let's do it. And then Evander was like, I'll do whatever you want. Whatever you please, I'm in. So then they all just ended up coming together.
Wow. I mean, it sounds great.
So I gave this 4 stars and 4.5 chilies. Chili papas. Obviously, I prefer Riches to Riches. I really did. But I'm glad that I read it. And I will read the next books. I'll go into book 2 in a minute. I'm not going to tell you everything that happens, but I will tell you my favourite scene. So my favourite scene in this one, because we like a dressing room scene. So Matteo took her out to go and get some clothes. And for no reason, she didn't need any. But he was like, fuck it. Takes her out and brings Gray with him. So she's like got her dress caught. And he's like, I'll come in and help you. So he goes in. He clocks that Gray is in the doorway, just watching them. So he just opens up her leg, takes off her panties, opens up her leg, puts it on like one of the little stools. And then he gets in front of her and he's like, sit on my face. Sit on my face until you come. So he can see that Gray's watching. Then she clocks Gray, and he's like, I want you to finish while staring Gray in the eye. And then once she finishes, Gray can't handle it anymore. He comes storming in, grabs Matteo up against the wall, and then kisses him so that he can get the taste of her on him. Obviously, there was shitloads of group scenes, but I really fucking loved that scene. So part 2, this is where like more things kick off with the gang, Aaron's gang. And then also there's like this other plot line with Gray where he had oh my god, the story was so bad. He had twin sisters back in the day, and there was a fire which was caused not by him but sort of because of him, and they died in the fire. So the whole story is them trying to find the twin sisters, and that was it. That's basically all the second book is about. Like, there's nothing else, and obviously them fucking a lot. So my favourite scene, you would have eaten this up like there's no tomorrow. So Matteo and Evander are brothers. And Evander and Evander is with Micah. So they've always had a thing where they're like, we should do a guy together for a laugh. And they're like, fuck it, let's do it now. We're all under one roof. There's nothing wrong with this.
Yeah.
We're basically boyfriends, even though we're brothers. So they've got Micah in this room. And Micah is on top of Evander.
Face to face?
Hang
or
on. Let me
back
figure
to
this out.
chest? Oh no, here we go. We've got a tea special.
Oh, wait, no. So Micah is fucking Van. So Van is lying down. Micah is in him. And then...
Wait, start again. So,
Van is laying down.
Yeah.
Micah's fucking him.
Yeah.
Yes. So Van is laying down. Micah's fucking him under there. And then Matteo is behind fucking Micah. Sandwich. That's a brother sandwich. And then Matteo is like, I want a brother cum load. I want us both to be in there like swimwear. So Matteo finishes inside Micah, and then he's like, right, switch round. So then Van, who's laying down because Michael's fucking him, gets up. Then he pushes Micah down on the bed, and then he goes into him, and then he finishes. So then it's a brother cum load. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I actually did follow that one along.
Yeah. That's not even my favourite part. So that happens, and then you've got Hartley and Evie that are next door, and they're like, what's going on in there? Like, what's all the sounds? There's some bits going on. Anyway, so the next morning, Evie's in the kitchen cooking up a storm, and then Matteo comes down, and he's like, my sweet girl, giving it all the words. Anyway, so he ends up doing her over the counter of the kitchen whilst he's whispering what was happening with him, Micah and Van. So she's getting mega turned on. She's like, that is hot as fuck. How did I miss that? And then Gray walks in and he's like, what's going on here then? And he's like, come on, let's do this. He doesn't actually slap his hands, but it's Eiffel Tower time.
For dramatic effect.
Yeah. So then she's Eiffel Towered by Gray and Matteo. So she's got Gray in her mouth. Matteo's from behind. And then they kiss above her.
Nice.
And I was like, all of these pages have been exquisite and I've had a really good time. I didn't even put down ratings or anything for that book. I just had a really, really nice time.
You were just there for the vibes.
I just had a really... You know Gary Barlow when he says, I've had a really, really nice day out? That was me. That was me when I read this book. Yeah, so I'm going to do... So the next book, I think it's two Russians. They're twins. And it's the best friend of Evie. So Evie, Alyssa, and this other girl, I can't remember what her name is. They were in this book a lot. Like, just doing girly things. And she is the other girl, and it's twin Russians. And there's got to be more men, because there's no way that she would have just done it for the three of them.
I've really got a thing for twins, I have.
Have you?
Yeah. Like, reading about twins.
Yeah.
You know when you're like... You know when you, like, say things like you realising that you've got a thing for foster siblings?
Yeah.
You know? And then it's one of those things where I've read, like, quite a few now, and I'm like, do you know, I think I might have a thing for twins, you know?
Yeah, I see ya. I see ya.
I like the brothers situation.
Yeah.
And then, you know, double whammy if they're twins.
Eiffel Tower and those twins.
Do you remember earlier when I said that this is a safe space?
Let's all stay protected, guys.
Yeah.
Let's let no one know what we're talking about.
Please don't tell people.
God, I love twins. It's so fucking weird when you think about it, but at the same time, it's very acceptable. Double-edged. Yeah. One of my favourite books.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what book that I think about a lot is End Scene?
Oh, yeah.
By Nikki James. That was absolutely impeccable.
Yeah.
Just to go off on a tangent. So it's like a slow burn as well, but it's obviously like hella taboo, like double-edged. But it's like slow burn. So I don't think they, like, there's not even anything that happens until, like, I think it was like over halfway. But oh my God, like, you know when you get to it and you're like,
yeah,
I just exploded.
Yeah.
Literally, I just combusted into a million pieces.
It's that tension, innit? 'Cause it's like, we're twins.
Yeah. Well, it's the forbidden element of it, isn't it? That's what creates the tension. But yeah, that was good. I think about that one quite a lot. It's very kind of like, if you like double-edged, it's kind of like double-edged coded. Yeah. There's actually a scene in that book where an older guy who is married pays them to do it for the first time together.
Yeah.
In front of him and his husband in a hotel room. It's insane. Absolutely insane. So that's where that's kind of like you're building up and up and up and up and up and up and up to that point.
Yeah.
But it is slower burn. But yeah, that was really good. So if you like double-edged, just to go off on a tangent, I think you might like that one. Anyway, let me do my first book, because it's going to be really super duper quick, and it is brothers. It's not taboo, but this is going to be super quick because it's book 2 in a series. So this is Ryan Redemption by Sadie Kincaid. This is obviously a Mafia book. It's Mafia Romance. It's very short. I can't remember how many pages it is, but I want to say it's like less than 300 or maybe around 300. So straight off the bat, I gave this 3 stars, and Chili Peppers, I gave it 4.5 to 5. I couldn't really decide at the time. Like, book 1 was definitely a 5 Chili Pepper, but it felt like there was just like a little bit less in this. And also my enjoyment of it wasn't as much, like I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, The Spice. So I don't know if that affected my rating of it because I wasn't enjoying it. You know when you're sort of like, meh, well, it was a bit meh. So you kind of rate it down when really you shouldn't, because it's supposed to be factual on like the type of spice and how much it is. So I put 4.5 to 5. Kind of like tropes and stuff. It's obviously Irish Mafia, the Ryan brothers, Why Choose, She's a Hacker, Tell a Spicy. I did talk about this series, book 1, more in depth in the previous Mafia podcast. So if you want to know more about this series and how it starts, I would advise to go back and start there and watch that one, because there isn't much I can say about this, because obviously it's a direct continuation, and I don't want to give away any spoilers or like, you know, the plot and stuff like that. I will say I'm going to tell you very briefly what happens, and then I'm going to talk about my thoughts and feelings on it and why I gave it 3 stars. So 3 stars is my... I say that my 3.5 is my down the middle rating, but just over. So 3 is my, you've just made it. You're on the cusp of that down the middle rating. Like, It was fine. Nothing to write home about. We'll never read it again. You know, that kind of thing. So I'll talk about why I gave it 3 stars in a second.
Because just on that, sorry, as you say that, because a lot of people, they say to us when we do like 3.5, they're like, yeah, but that's still really good. But in my head, I would be like, 1 is unreadable.
Yeah.
And then 2 is like, nah.
It was okay in some parts, but overall terrible.
And then 3 is like,
meh.
Sure.
Yeah. 3 is like, meh, it was fine.
Whereas I feel like a lot of people are like, 3 is good.
Yeah, so but it is subjective. Everybody rates differently. So 3 for me is like, meh.
Yeah.
It was fine. Might not read the rest of the series. 3.5 is where I'm like, you know, it was on the cusp of being good.
Yeah.
It just didn't quite get there.
I agree.
But I did still enjoy some really good parts. Like I did still enjoy some parts in it. Okay, so basically, at the book 1 ended on a cliffhanger, and in book 2 we open up direct continuation. So she's no longer with the Ryan brothers. So she's a hacker. She was living with this Russian guy. The Ryan brothers come in, and she ends up living with them. This is in the first book, and time passes very, very quickly. So it's actually like months and months and months that go by, but obviously you're reading it and it's only like 200 pages or something like that, so it feels very, very quick. So obviously then she falls in love with them, and you're like, whoa, that was like, you only moved in 5 minutes ago, but actually it was like 8 months ago. Do you know what I mean? That is the only downside to having shorter books like that, is it feels like it moves a bit too quick when it comes to like love. Anyway, so they all fell in love, blah blah blah. It ended on a cliffhanger. Book 2 opens. She's no longer with them. She is somewhere else in a different house with somebody else that she thought she could trust and she thought she'd never see again. And while she's in this house, she's like being drugged. And my first point is that wasn't explored enough. Yeah. It was more like I'm telling you that she was being drugged rather than I'm showing you what was happening and her experience of that. That should have been explored more. That was my biggest thing from this. And then she gets rescued by them. Like, they come in all guns blazing, the whole rescue mission situation. This isn't a spoiler because it happens very, very quickly. That's my next thing. It happened too quick. Nothing pisses me off more and upsets me more than when the FMC is either kidnapped or she goes off somewhere and then the guys come in all guns blazing too quickly.
Yeah.
The rescue mission should have been longed out.
Yeah.
I like it when that rescue mission is longed out a little bit. I don't like it when it's too much. To reference Blood and Ash really quickly, we had an entire Blood and Ash book which was like really tiny font in like a 700-800 page book where they were not with each other. That, no.
Yeah.
There needs to be some kind of happy medium in between the two of them. But to be rescued in like the first few chapters, no. I also don't want that either. I want it to be explored. And they were my 2 biggest bugbears. So it felt a little bit like we just sort of reverted back after she was rescued. I say rescued, I use that in inverted commas. We just sort of reverted back to book 1 again, and I was sort of like, right, so they're all just going to follow this same pattern where we start off with a little bit of plot, then we go into hella spice in the middle, and then we end on some plot.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the same pattern for all of the books. I know I can't talk about the actual story of it too much. Like, they're the Irish Mafia. The guys are Irish. The audio, it's okay. It's decent. The Irish accents aren't the best. When we did Bad Bishop, that Irish accent was better.
Yeah.
But it's a very hard accent to do, isn't it?
Is,
you know, if it's not your natural accent, it's a very hard accent to execute authentically. But it was fine. Like, you get over it and you just get used to hearing it. It was fine. I immersive read this one, so I did eyeball and earhole at the same time, and the narrators are Aaron Sherlock and Holly Jackson, and it was dual narration, it wasn't duet, and I just feel like that never helps, especially in spicy scenes. I feel like if you have a hella spicy book that's like 4 to 5 chili peppers,
why choose as well?
And it's why choose. Dual narration is not the way to go. Like, I understand, like, financially it's more expensive to do a duet, but this is Sadie Kincaid. I just feel like this could have been duet. I mean, I don't know how long it's been out, obviously, and I get it. Like, I mean, I don't fucking know what goes on behind the scenes in the making of an audio book, but if this had been duet, I think I may have enjoyed it a little bit more. I don't really have anything else to say, to be honest. I do have a favourite scene, and I'm not going to lie, it was actually hard to find one, because the book was just sort of like, meh, because I didn't actually get to a scene where I was like, oh, yeah, that's fair. That was good. Do you know what I mean? It was all like, yeah, it was fine. But there was one scene. So she's getting down and dirty with Connor, one of the brothers, and he tells her to sit on his face. So he says to her, come up here and sit on my face. So she straddles his face, and he's like, I said sit. Like, I said sit, get on my fucking face. Sit down. And she's like, I am fucking sitting. I am sitting down. So he literally grabs his arms, wraps them around her thighs like that, and just goes yank. And then just yanks her down so she's sitting on his face. And he goes, if I have to lift my head even half an inch for my lips to be touching yours, then you're not sitting, Angel. You're hovering. Now sit that beautiful pussy on my face now. And I was like, that's very good. That was the most decent kind of like spicy kind of scene in it.
I love a good sit down. Good sit down scene.
Yeah, the dirty talk in it and the spice, it was okay.
Yeah.
You know, Riches to Riches, Gallows Hill, even the other book that I'm about to talk about, smashed it out of the park in comparison. Yeah. Like, you know, we all love Sadie Kincaid, don't get me wrong. We fucking bun the shit out of Sadie Kincaid, you know, especially Daddy Alexandros.
Oh!
And our Forged in Blood peeps. But yeah, it was okay. I did have other quotes highlighted, I did have other scenes highlighted, but when I was going back through it, I was like, wow. I was clutching at straws.
Oh, okay, that's
You know, I was just highlighting, because I was like, yeah, that's...
Isn't it like a 5-book series, though? So this might just
be the more. I think it's more.
Because you've got like 8,000 novellas that go with it as well.
There's so many books. So, my last point is, talking about that, I'm going to give this one more book. Yep. And that is only because they're small.
Yeah.
If it was any bigger, if they were like 400 pages, even 350 pages, I wouldn't do another one. They're only like 200 and something pages.
Oh, that's fine.
So because they're only small, I'm like, I'll do the next one. I'll do it on audio. Just when I'm like cleaning or doing the washing or whatever. Give it a chance. And if I am like, meh, it was alright. Because I did really enjoy the first one. If the next one is like, meh, I'm not going to carry on.
Yeah, that's totally
I'm going to leave it there. Comparing it to the next book that I'm going to talk about, like, I want to say, like I said earlier, I love it when we say, oh, actually, I was the problem. It wasn't the book. Yeah. I wasn't in the mood. I wasn't in the right part of my cycle. But back to back, I read Twisted Play by Poppy Jacobson, which is the next book I'm going to talk about. And oh my fucking God. They were in 2 different leagues.
Yeah.
2 completely different leagues. I was floored. The first spicy scene, I was on the floor. I was dead. Yeah. Done for. And I was like, this is going to be great. And the dirty talk was absolutely fucking insane. So I know it wasn't a me problem. It was the book.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Which, you know, I never like saying, because that's not very nice. It's someone's art. You know, it's someone's, like, they've, you know, poured all this creativeness into creating this book. So I don't particularly like saying that, but that's just my honest opinion.
And that's fine. That's totally fair.
This Twisted Play by Poppy Jacobson just fucking... It did shit all over it. I hate to say, but it did. Okay, your turn. Let's go back to you.
Okay. So my next one is Hunter's Game by Jasmine Ray. Now, this is the one where I posted a story and I was like, who the fuck told me to read this book? Because, well done you. Because I went on such a fucking journey with this book. So I was like, some parts of this are like 3 stars. And I get that.
So, really quickly, because I was going to mention this to you about how you had said this previously, about... Was it like a fucking 6-star read? Was it fucking phenomenal? No. But oh my God, did you have a good time?
Oh my God.
And that is important to remember. It doesn't matter. A lot of the time, it's not about how well written it is. And I'm saying that in air quotations for our listeners. It's not about how well written it is. It's about your enjoyment of it. Do you know what I mean?
It's insane. It was fucking insane. Like, when I talk you through what happened in this, there's fucking trials.
I can't wait, because I don't...
Yeah, there's trials.
Oh.
What?
I fucking love me trials and games. I do.
Who knew there would be trials?
Any games.
Honestly, when this started unfolding, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Anyway, so
okay, well, I'm gonna have to read it.
So we got Dark Mafia, so Secret Society, Forced Proximity, Virgin FMC, Touch Her and Die, Good Girl versus Bad Boy, Trials, baby, and impeccable spicy scenes. You know, like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't fucking know.
I just want to say, I actually haven't asked Tia to explain this book to me, like, at all.
No.
So what you're hearing now is also brand new information to me.
Yeah.
So we're hearing it all at the same time, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm on this journey with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got about 8 different families, and they are, so you've got the Barrett family, they're the Bears. You've got the Cardle family, they're the Soldiers. You've got the Chadwick family, they're the Warriors. You've got the Warner family, and they're the Guards. You've got the Knight family, that are the Knights, and you've got the Butcher family, that are the Butchers.
Bloody hell.
So all of these families come together because they come to the Bears Manor every year, and that's where the trials happen. So the idea is, when you turn 21, you are put into these trials, and that is where people decide where you belong in the Brotherhood of the Empire. So that's the guys. They'll do the trials, and then, you know, if they pass, then they're going to get big jobs in the Mafia. And then the women, once they turn 21, they get their own jobs. So they will be like, you know, like, what's it called? Don't tell me. You won't know. Interrogation. So they'll interrogate people and, you know, like do all like sexy stuff.
Nice.
Strip down naked.
Okay.
Try and sleep with them. All of that stuff to like,
Nice.
interrogate them. Love it. Love that shit. So we start off. You have got Hunter and Piper, and then they're in this room together. So in my head, so I know that Piper was younger. I think she's like 20. Well, she's 20, just about to turn 21. And then in my head, Hunter was like really young. And I was kind of like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. So you've got the scene. So Piper goes into Hunter and she's like, look, can you please lose the trial? Because so he's meant to be going against her brother and they're meant to be fighting against each other. And whoever wins that fight then proceeds on to the next situation. Please, can you lose against my brother? And he's like, well, what are you going to do for me? And she's like, I will do anything you want. So he forces her to her knees. This is in the prologue. He forces her to her knees, basically fucks her face. And then he's like, all right, I'll lose the trial. So in my head, I'm like, this guy is like 20 as well. I was like, this is all a very young situation to be going on here. But he mentioned something like, this isn't, you've given me better, or it was something like that. And I was like, oh, so they've done this before. Interesting. And then he was like, I've changed, after he finished in her mouth, he was like, I've changed the means of the contract. He was like, you owe me now. Whatever I want, you give me. And she's like, fine. And she walks out, and then it's like, but what does this mean? So let me go back to the beginning. So then it's 3 weeks earlier. So all of the families are turning up to the manor. And so Piper, her family, they are like the head honchos. So it's their manor. So everyone starts turning up. And she originally was meant to be going out with this guy called Kevin. So her and Kevin were meant to get married because it was going to be a family situation. But then the dad was like, he's not good enough for you. That's not happening. So obviously, like, Kevin then turns up with his family. And it's all very awkward and very great. So you've got all the olders. So you've got 3 stages of the ages. So you've got the older olders that don't really get involved with anything. You've got the middle ages. So that's people that have got married recently and just had kids. And they kind of flip between being with the olders and then being with the young'uns. And then the young'uns just fucking party every night, drink and go fucking wild.
Nice.
They have it large. So that is basically what happens. So they just party all the time and everyone fucks each other. But she's obviously a virgin and she's like, I kind of like the look of this guy that's just turned up. So Hunter turns up. He's 29 years old. Slight age gap there. So what's that, 9 years? He's 29 years old. He's just come out of prison. Because he's done some dodgy fucking shit for her dad. But she doesn't know what it is. Everyone's like, Piper, don't go near him. Like, stay away from Hunter. He's really fucking bad news. But obviously, if someone tells a woman that, what are they going to do? They're going to run to them. Like, there's no fucking tomorrow. They're going to be on that guy like a pig in fucking shit. Anyway, so they all go to the parties and stuff, and Hunter is kind of like there, but he's all mysterious, and he's got his like black tracksuit on, and it's all very like, what is even going on with this guy? Anyway, so there's another side plot which heavily comes into this at the end, which is fucking insane. So there's this guy called Matthew who's married. So he's part of a different family. He's married to this other woman who's fucking evil as fuck. And you find out why closer to the end of the book. They're like 32. They're not even that old. They've got 2 kids. He goes to her room and has been doing that every night when they go to this place and forces her to give him a blowjob. Yeah, he's dodgy as fuck. So Hunter's been like watching all of this unfold and he's like, what is going on here? So he is then like addicted to her, and she's addicted to Hunter, and they obviously come together. He like forces her down on him, and then they become a thing. They're obsessed with each other. It's all really great. So that all happens, and then the trials start to kick off. So the 4 trials that we've got Sniff Out the Rat. So all of the guys have got one person that is an actual, like, it's a rat or it's not a rat, but they've brought them in from the street, and either way this person is going to get killed after this happens anyway. Sniff out the rat, so you've got to pick whether they are a rat or not, so whether they've ratted on the Mafia or not. So that's the first one. The second one is they have to fight, so each guy gets paired with another guy and they have to fight between each other. So that is where the prologue then came into it, because she went to Hunter and was like, don't fight my brother. And he was like, fine. Then you've got a chasing in the woods situation.
Oh, nice.
And then you've got the interrogation at the end, which is where the women then go into them and have to do their bit to the guys. Honestly, this book was fucking incredible. Like, it was so fucking good. Just the building of their relationship, how she had all this bad stuff going on, and I'm not gonna lie, her dad is a fucking terrible person. Like, really, really fucking bad. And, like, just the way that everyone hated Hunter, but he was like so in love with her, and he was like protecting her through all of this stuff, and it was just all going to shit around him. It was so bad, and yet so fucking great. So everything that comes out in the end, this is why I had to message the author, because I was like, you've got to be fucking joking me, because they're on this like up and down situation. So they break up and they don't break up and all of this stuff. Anyway, so like all of this shit comes out about one of the women that's in it and her husband. And they've been doing some really dodgy things to the people there. It's really, really fucking bad. And then it just kicks off at the end. And then I just don't know how the next book's going to go. Because I can't tell you what happens, because it's going to give away everything. But it's just fucking insane. And then, like, the next book, they're like, well, what are we going to do then? Well, they know what they're going to do, because they're going to have to fight. But what are they going to do? I'm like, what are they going to do then? What the fuck are you going to do? All of this happened in one house, by the way. One house in the middle of the fucking woods. It's all kicking off. And then it's just, honestly, it was insane. I don't even know where to go with this.
This sounds incredible. Sorry, it sounds unbelievable.
Was so fucking good. So I'm going to go through two of my favourite scenes. So my first favourite scene is before he takes her V-plate. He's in the shower and she gets up and she goes over to the shower, and then they're like kissing. It's all very intimate and stuff. And then he goes down on her until she's literally quivering. And then he gets her on top of him, and then he's like sliding her on him.
Nice.
Yeah, because we love that. And it's all very sensual and sexy. And then she like hooks her leg over so that he can't fully go in. And he says, wise decision. And he says, he kisses me again. For now, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to wait. Hearing my name out of your mouth like that. Fuck, I wonder how it will sound when I make you come with my cock inside you. His voice is husky, hungry, and taunting.
Ooh.
Oh, honestly, he was so fucking sexy. It was incredible. And then this scene was giving Credence sofa scene. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you've got Hunter and Alistair. So Alistair is one of his best mates. Just the sheer amount of people that were in this is incredible. Like, all in, because you've got, there's a fucking, I wish I bought the book. There's an actual family tree for every single family.
Oh, wow.
There's 8 family trees. All these people are in these books.
And you followed it along fine?
It got to about halfway, then I was like, okay, I know who that is now.
Oh, okay.
It took a while.
You just have to, like, ride the wave for the first
You've got
half.
to ride the wave.
But you will get it eventually.
Yeah. So, Credence sofa scene. Woo! So, this is after he's taken her V-plates. So, Alistair and Hunter are having, like, drinks together. And they're all, like, having a good time. So, they invite her along. And she comes along. She's got her little PJs on. And she sits on the sofa. So, she covers herself over. Alistair's got, like, a blanket on him as well. And then Hunter's like, listen. So, me and Alistair were like, we've done stuff before with a girl. Obviously, you haven't done anything with anyone. And if it's something you want to explore, like, we're more than happy to be those people.
Yeah.
But he was like, but he is not going inside you. Like, only I go inside you. And she's like, let me have a little think about it. So she sat with her back to Hunter. And he just opens her legs out. The blanket's still on. And just starts touching her. Both hands. Two-hander. Starts touching her. So then Alistair's like watching, and slowly he starts getting hard. He's like, this is nice.
Yeah.
This is really great. So then Piper just takes off the blanket.
Creedence style.
Step
when it falls
one.
off. Yeah.
Step one. Takes off the blanket. So she's still got her like little shorts on, but his hands are there. So you can see more of what's going on. So then Hunter's like whispering sweet nothings in her ear. Like, what are you thinking? Look at him touching himself. So then Alistair's like, he's on it. He is on the job because he's like, this is hot shit.
Yeah.
I actually want to get involved. So then Hunter's like, what do you want to do? Like, where do you, I can make you finish. Like, it's not a problem, but what would you like? And she's like, Alistair, can you come and finish me off? Oh my God, are you kidding me? He was like, he's never done anything so fast in his fucking life. He was like, yep, straight on it. So he like takes down the shorts, and then he puts his fingers in. So Hunter stays up the top. We know what's up the top. And then Alistair is inside. And honestly, I thought I was going to combust. I was like, this is insane. This is incredible. These people are having such a good time.
Yeah.
It was so fucking good.
It is. Cool. That's massively given like credence. It's giving like credence and where we wanted it to go.
So my only gripe in this whole book was when she lost her virginity, she lost it like a fucking champ. And I was like, that's maybe a little bit too unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because he went in on her hard. And I was like, okay. But still fucking loved it. So ratings wise, I gave this 4.5 and Spicer gave it a 4. And there is a cliffhanger, so don't come at me if you read it.
I think I definitely want to read it, but I don't think I want to read it until we know what's happening with book 2.
I know. Oh my god, it's going to be insane. It's going to be so fucking good.
Okay, so I'm going to get into my last book before we do Maddison Cole's, and this is Twisted Play by Poppy Jacobson. So this is actually a dark hockey romance, Why Choose? And like I said earlier, I did get this from a Mafia Rex video from someone on Bookstagram. I assume because one of the MMCs is called Alex with a K and is Russian, that I'm hoping and assuming that comes into play in the second book. So this is book 1 in a duet. I haven't read the second book yet, but I am going to try and read it in August because oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is literally, honestly, it was so good. So it's multicast duet. And I was just saying to Tia off camera, one of the male narrators sounds like Joe Arden, but like just enough for you to go, cool, that's nice. Yeah. Like that sounds like, but not so much that he can't stand on his own. Yeah. Like to the point where I was like, I need to know which one he is. I mean, I don't know which one he is. I would have to go into, because it's multicast, I would have to go into all the male narrators and then preview other books that they've done to find out which male character he played in this book, because actually, I don't know. I don't know who the narrator was that sounded like Joe Arden, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I immersive read it, multicast duet narration, and it is Savannah Thomas, Caden Lukakis, Julio Maxwell, and Ash Beverly. Never heard of any of them except Savannah Thomas. Yeah. And only briefly, I couldn't tell you what Savannah Thomas does. But the male narrators, no idea who they are. No. But oh my god, they fucking smashed it. I genuinely, I can't wait to do book 2. I was just going through my notes before I started talking about it, and honestly, like I would reread this book. I would 100% reread it. So straight off the bat, I gave it 5 stars, and I gave it 5 chili peppers.
A 5-5, baby.
A double 5, a double 5.
A double 5.
Fuck me, they are like gold dust.
I know, they really
a double 5.
Double.
Gold dust. I'm telling you, gold. Obviously, some people might read it and go, "Meh, that was a 4, 4.5." I personally don't think so. I personally think it was a 5. I don't even know where to start in this because there was so many moving parts, but it was just so well linked together that it just flowed really well. So we have our FMC, who is Eva, and then we have 3 MMCs. We have Alex, and then we have Tristan, and we have Cole. Alex is the coach for the hockey team, and he's like Daddy Dom, like big Daddy Dom energy. I cannot even stress enough. So if you took Emmett Montgomery from In Her Own League by Liz Tomford and just put him on steroids and made him like massive daddy dog, you think that that man is giving? This man is him, but a million times better. Oh my fucking God. Oh my God. Okay, so that's Alex. Then we have Cole, and he's like the aggressive, moody hockey player. He's the one that's sort of a little bit like bullying her.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love him. And then we have Tristan, and he is like massive golden retriever, green flag energy.
Love it.
So Tristan and Cole like each other separately. They're both on the hockey team. They like each other separately, but they haven't told each other that they like each other. So Tristan is more like outwardly kind of like gay or bi or whatever, but Cole isn't as much. Not consciously, they just haven't really told each other or haven't explored it. So you've already straight off the bat got that sort of like little tension between the two of them. They're like little besties, little bestie bros. So yeah, neither of them know that the other one likes each other. So basically, we start with Eva going for an interview to be the student team medic for the hockey team.
Yeah.
So she's finished like her uni/college if you're American. And she's going for this interview. Now she's going for this interview because her dad is in like debt, like bad debt, like millions of dollars debt. With this like really rich, really powerful, really bad guy. And he threatens to kill her dad if she doesn't do what he says. And he says, I want you to go for this interview that I've arranged. I've co-signed it. You're going to go for this interview and you're going to get the fucking job. And then you're going to feed me all the information from the team to do whatever I want with, like whatever he decides to do. Yeah. Obviously, I haven't read the second book, so it's not 100. I'm not 100% sure on the full plot line, obviously. So he's like, you're going to go to this interview, you're going to get this job, and you're going to feed me information about the team, and that's going to save your dad's life. Good Lord. So she's got this like burner phone and everything. So she turns up at this interview, and it's the coach that's interviewing her. Immediately, he knows who she is, right? So we're in his head, in his POV, and he's like, that's the daughter of the man that ruined my life. But we don't know how or why he ruined his life. We just know that he did. And he hates her immediately. He's like, I'm going to use this to my advantage. I can send him pictures and do things with her and ruin his life back, right?
Yeah.
So she goes to this interview. He's like, I know who she is. I'm going to ruin this man's life. He ruined my life. He's like, yeah, you can have the job, but get on your fucking knees. Get on your knees and suck me off right fucking now.
Yeah.
And in her head, she's like, well, I need this job. I fucking need this. Do you know what? Fuck it, I need this job. I need this job, so I'm going to get on my knees. And obviously, a good time was had by both parties, but watching it or reading it, you're like, this obviously is like in the realms of dubious consent, you know?
For sure.
Because she's like, well, I need the job. So she obviously willingly does it. But fuck me.
Yeah, that's delicious, that. Yeah.
So he's like, right, you can have the job, but you need to get on your knees and suck me off right now. A good time was had by both parties, even though it was a little bit dubious, right? And then she gets the job. She's like, great, you know, done deal. Great doing business with you. See you later on my first day. So he then basically says, well, now I want you to be my submissive. So every day I want you kneeling next to my desk, naked. I want you to make my coffee naked, and I want you to present it to me on your knees, head bowed, arms up, like this. Every day. And there's like, on her first day, like, she makes this coffee. He makes her remake the coffee like 10 times until it's right. And every single time she has to walk over, kneel, and present it to him for him to try it. And then eventually she gets it right. And like, this is proper like,
Oh, I love it.
dom sub dynamic. I mean,
I'd appreciate that a lot.
Only ever in his office. And only ever at work. So never outside of work, never like at home or whatever, just only ever in the office at work. So in his head, he's thinking, I'm going to take pictures and I'm going to send it to her dad and I'm going to use this against him in whatever kind of capacity. So we've got that happening with the coach, with Alex, right? Yeah. So at the same time, she then has a one-night stand with Cole one night, right before she starts her job. So she has a one-night stand with him. They both really have a good time. But she's like, I shouldn't really be sleeping with people on the team. Like, I can't be dating people on the team because I need this job. Like, I have to keep this job. Yeah. And obviously, like, the coach is like, well, you can't sleep with anyone on the team. And, like, the head medic is like, you can't sleep with anyone on the team. You can't date them, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, this has to end here. So she scarpers off after the one-night stand. But after that one-night stand, he's like, utterly obsessed, obviously, and he wants back in her pants. But not just like, he likes her, not just her areas, you know? He like becomes obsessed with her. So, Tristan, who is also on the team, says to Cole one day, because then they start hockey and then she turns up for her first day and all that, and Tristan's like, oh my god, she's like so hot. Like, I think I like her. I want to ask her out. And Tristan doesn't know that Cole slept with her. So Cole is like, yeah, just ask her out. Like, just go and ask her out. You can date her. So he asks her out and she's like, do you know what? He's actually all right. So I'll go on some dates with him. I'll see him. So they actually end up dating, and she ends up really liking him because he's the golden retriever. He's really nice to her, really good to her, like no bad energy, no red flags. They end up sleeping together. It's all nice. They're getting along fine. Everything's great. So then we have, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts in this, so just bear with because we're coming to the end of it now. So then Cole, bearing in mind she's still doing this like blackmail situation, so she's still collating all this information to like take pictures on her phone and send back to the guy that's blackmailing her. So Cole catches her one day in the act doing things that she shouldn't be doing in the office, and he's like, listen, I won't tell anyone, but you have to do exactly what I say whenever I say it, and that means if I want you, you do it there and then. Right there and then.
I'll do in all of the positions.
Yep, I'll do whatever I want with you, whenever I want with you. And she's like, you've got me. I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. So fine. Okay. So she's being blackmailed all over the fucking place.
Beautiful.
There's blackmail everywhere.
Yeah,
he's blackmailing her. This guy's blackmailing her. The fucking coach is blackmailing her. The only person that's not blackmailing her is Tristan, the golden retriever. Anyway, so there's blackmail all over the place. So the three of them are now all sleeping with her separately. Right? Mm-hmm. So she's sleeping with the coach, she's sleeping with Cole because he's blackmailing her, she's sleeping with the coach because he's also blackmailing her, and then she's sleeping with Tristan because she likes him. Right. So, then we very slowly start edging into the why choose element of the book, because obviously Cole and Tristan are besties, so then situations are maneuvered where the two of them are together and then start doing bits, but it feels very authentic the way it maneuvers from like three separate guys separately to why choose situations with like her and Cole and Tristan, and that's how it starts, because obviously you got the coach who's separate and he's the coach of the two guys, so initially he doesn't get involved obviously with them. So Tristan and Cole then they work their way up to then start doing bits with her together. There's lots of DP. It's all very nice. It's all very sexy. It's all very great. And honestly, all of them absolutely smashed it with the dirty talk. Like, you've got, like, Cole is like, you know, the broody, grumpy bully of the hockey team, and he's not very nice to her, but the words that he says are fucking incredible. And then you've got like Alex. So you've got like Alex at the top, who's like daddy fucking Dom.
Yeah.
And then you've got Cole underneath, who's like edging up towards that. You know, like 10 years later, Cole will be a daddy Dom. And then you've got Tristan, who also says all of these words, but he's more like obviously golden retriever energy. But honestly, the words coming out of all of them were fucking incredible. So let me just read you some of the quotes talking about the dirty talk, and then I'll quickly get into my favourite scene. It's actually not that long, so I'll quickly get into my favourite scene, and then I will be done talking about this one. So some of the quotes are, I said spit, he growled.
Oh, yeah.
Relax your fucking throat. You're taking me so well. Clean me up. Before I could look for tissues, he added, with your tongue.
Beautiful.
That's it, dirty girl. Are you going to leave a wet spot on my sweatpants? Let everyone know how filthy you've been instead of studying. And there's a situation where, like, she's getting it on with one of the guys, and he's like, who is it that's making you come? And she goes, me. She sassed me back. I'm making me come, because she's touching herself at the same time.
Girl.
You played me. Now it's my turn to play with you. So obedient. I'm going to enjoy making you beg. Now pull my cock out of my pants. I'm going to make sure you know how to do this right. Now spit on me.
Oh, yeah.
Now lick. Don't bite me, he warned as he fucked my throat again. And don't fucking puke.
Yes!
Chin up, mouth open, tongue out.
Yeah, incredible.
Clean off your face with your fingers and swallow it all.
Yeah.
God, look at you, he sneered, dripping for it like a fucking needy little whore. You love this, don't you? Love it when I bend you over and use you. This pussy belongs to us, and we don't fucking share. Crawl to me, he snapped, kneeling on the other side of the bed and stripping off his t-shirt. Then suck my cock like the filthy little fuck toy you are.
Yeah, that's nice, that.
That's it, Malishka. Slowly, feel every centimetre as I stretch you open. Okay, so that was like some of the insane quotes. Obviously, there's tons of them. When I tell you the dirty talk in this was fucking top level. Top tier. 5, 6 motherfucking stars. It was so fucking good. I could not recommend doing the audio for this more. Cannot wait to do book 2. Okay, so my favourite scene, really quickly, is... There's loads of favourite scenes. Like, there's so many scenes I could choose from. But the one that really stuck with me was actually the scene when she goes for the interview and she gets on her knees for him. He does force her to her knees. In that scene specifically, he really says some words. He really does. I don't have any quotes from that, but I just have this bit highlighted. It says, my hands trembled as I reached for his belt. I was going to do this. I was going to suck the hockey coach's cock for a job. Suck the hockey coach's cock so I could spy on the team and report back to Jed Carter. He didn't even help me. He moved his hands to his thighs and just watched.
Oh.
I just highlighted that small section, but the whole scene was fucking insane. It was absolutely insane. She obviously loved it, by the way. Like, she had a great time. And the other scene that I really loved was when they were all together for the first time. So they do eventually all come together. I'm not going to tell you how, but it's more towards the end of the book. So there's no actual MM in this book. So this book would be MFMM, technically. But I know for a fact that we do edge into MMMF. In book 2. That's what. So all 3 M's are together in book 2. Yeah, including the coach, which is great. So the second favorite scene is the second time that they're all together. So they're only ever all together as a group twice, including the coach. And the second time they're together in the morning, they've done bits at night time. They wake up in the morning, and she wakes Tristan up with a blowy. And then Alex, the coach, gets in behind her with his mouth while she's on like all fours blowing Tristan. And then Cole is just beside them, like tugging one out. And it's just like the tension is insane because all of the guys are then looking at each other. And that's then how you know, like we sort of end the book not long after that, and then you're like, okay, so we're definitely going to be getting the MM in between them, because the coach is all like, oh, you know, I shouldn't, because they're like, I'm their coach and all this kind of stuff, you know. The only negative thing I have about this, it's still 5 stars, is the overuse of the word good girl, of the phrase good girl. It was a lot, it was too much, but I still give it 5 stars and it didn't hinder my enjoyment of it. Yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing about book 2.
Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is Rival's Pledge by Maddison Cole. So we did this one because we collaborated with Maddison Cole and we fucking loved it.
Oh,
and I'll tell you for why, because there's a massive fucking plot twist at the end that basically threw us through several loops.
I just know every single time we go to read a Maddison Cole book, you know, like it's a fail-safe. Do you know what I mean? You know you're going to have a good time every time you go into it.
Yeah, and do you know what? There were so many aspects to this book that I was like, how do you even know that? Like, how do you know? Because one of the MMCs, he is like a hacker, and like all of the things that was being said, I was like, but where do you even find this stuff out?
Yep.
Where does one find out these things? Okay, so basic rundown. So we have got Meg, who is best friends with Avery, who is the FMC from the Shadowed Soul series, which we also reviewed about a year ago. So something really bad happened to her in the last book that was in that series, and this is like her coming out of that situation. So she ends up being saved by this guy called Tiago, and now she wants to rebuild her life. So she's going to go back to college and just start doing all the things that she used to do. So her and Tiago have this really good connection. So because he's a hacker, he basically like watches her all the time on his little computer. And they like have chats and they do gaming every night, and they just have like this really cute relationship. And then it's to be the captain of the lacrosse team, so she wants to go and get that job back. So because of the thing that happened in the last book, she then ended up in rehab, where she met one of the other MMCs, which we will talk about later, called Reed, and now she wants to rebuild her life. So she wants to be captain of the lacrosse team again, and currently it's Everest. Now her and Everest had a little smoochy, sexy thing going on before, and now she fucking hates him. And she's like, I'm getting that job back. And he's like, she ain't getting this job back. I'm gonna make sure of that. So there's like this nice little bully romance rivalry situation that goes on between these two. absolute perfection. So you've got Tiago, who's the guy that she talks to every day, MMC number 1. Then you've got Everest, MMC number 2, who she's now battling out with. And then you've got MMC number 3, which is Reed, who was the guy that she met in rehab, who now lives fucking next door.
He's like the dark and mysterious one that we don't really know anything about. Even coming to the end of the book. I mean, you don't know anything about him until like the last fucking page.
Yep.
And then you're just left with your jaw on the floor.
Yeah. So he like plays really loud metal music every night, and she's like, I fucking hate this guy so much. But then they have like little meetups.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like very intrigued by him because he's got like artwork and she's into art and like.
I think they're in the same art class, aren't they?
Yeah.
Remember at the
Yeah. So it's all very cutesy. So like all of these things are happening with these guys, and then it's like, oh, she's going to rebuild her life, and this should be really lovely. But then she goes to a party and she takes this girl with her. So this girl's like, I want to go to one of the popular guys' parties. And she's like, come with me, not a problem. Takes her with her, and then she goes missing. And everyone's like...
Not the FMC, the girl that went with her.
The girl that went with her.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what the actual fuck? Like, what is wrong with you? Why is it that you've got a problem with people going missing? And she's like, well, I don't fucking know where she is. And then, so the rest of it is based around her sort of rebuilding to be in a position where she can help people guide to the place where she was taken from, and they can figure out what then happened to this girl. But obviously, that wouldn't be fucking how this works, because that would be too easy. Obviously, there's 8,000 other things that are going on in this, and none of them are what you think it is.
Yep.
And it all just goes to shit, really.
If you've read the Shadowed Souls trilogy, and if you remember at the end of book 1 when we got that kind of like cliffhanger ending, when there was like this massive revelation, it's along the same kind of lines. So it's like along those similar lines, but like with another plot twist woven into it at the same time. It was literally like, and I said this in the review on socials, I literally read those last kind of couple of pages twice, especially those lines, because I was like, did I just read that? You know when you read something and you think, because sometimes when you get into the end of a book, you're so excited about what's going on that your eyes are like moving so fast, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, did I just read that right? And I went back and I read it again, slowly. And I was like, oh no, I read that right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
So you walk into a situation that's happening, and then boom, plot twist. Something comes out, and then boom, another plot twist. Something else comes out. So actually, you got hit in the face 3 times.
Yeah. I mean, she does do it well.
In about 10 pages. Yeah. And I was like, well, that was a lot. And now I'm hooked. But now I need the next book.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
I need to know what's going on with that situation. I mean, I feel like I know it's not exactly what we were served at the end of the book. I feel like I know what direction one specific plot twist would go in.
Well, I won't say that because that might give away some things. But I fucking hope it's not
what it was on the surface to be.
Yeah. Because that would be not great.
A whole different genre of book.
That would be bad.
That would be bad. Should we do ratings really quickly?
Absolutely, we should.
So I gave this 4 stars. And I put 2.5 to 3 chili peppers down here. What did you give it?
Yep, I gave it 4 stars and I gave it 2.5 chilies.
Chili peppers.
It was just mental. It was just the idea of being dragged in several directions. Because you're going through this like, oh, I'm having a really fucking nice time. Tiago's lovely. That's really great. Everest, he's a bit of a bully, but actually he's really good in bed. And then you've got Reed that's next door and you're like, you're a bit of a prick, but actually...
So I will say... I think, like, talking about the MMCs, when it comes to, like, why choose, I think if you want, like, an extended kind of, like, trilogy that has quite a lot of plot woven through and there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, 3 MMCs for the why choose, it's such a magic number.
Yeah,
it's like, it's because 2 almost feels like, well, it's not really enough, and I don't even know if that technically qualifies as why choose, but 3 is like the perfect number if you've got quite a lot of plot to go through, because then you can still get that delicious why choose, you can still get some like decent you could even have one of the M's not involving himself with the to change the dynamic. And I think when you have like spice driven why choose, like Riches to Riches, it's and Gallows Hill, and the plot is like, it's almost like it takes a back seat to a certain degree. When you have more MMCs, like 5 MMCs, That's so much better, because you're getting that really delicious spice and the different kind of like relationships within relationships and the different dynamics. And I think one thing that Maddison Cole does do really well is that kind of like 3 MMCs with a lot of plot. I will say though that Shadowed Souls was 4. Is that right? 4?
I think it's 5.
Is it?
I think it was
So
5.
you got Garrett, Huxley, Wyatt. Oh, this is testing us now. Garrett, Huxley, Wyatt, Dex,
and the brother,
which is Wyatt.
I'm sure there's 5.
So it's either 4 or 5, but there was a lot of plot woven into that, and she did do that really well.
Yeah.
I can't lie. When you have like 5 MMCs or 4 MMCs, it's kind of hard to then balance that really delicious spice with a lot of plot. But in the Shadowed Soul series, which I know is not what we're specifically talking about, but it is interlinked to that, she does do that really well with the more MMCs. And I tell you, one scene that I'll never forget is when they were in the nightclub in Shadowed Souls.
Oh yeah, that was really fucking good.
That was
there was
fucking
loads
insane.
of scenes, because you had the ones. One of my favourite ones was
when Wyatt was on the chair. He had a beer, didn't he? He was holding the beer in the chair and he was just watching.
My one is when it was 2 of the MMCs that were swords crossers, and one of them was sat on a chair watching the other sword crosser with her, and then they both got involved, and it was just...
Oh, there was so many good scenes.
Oh, it was so delightful.
So this book is interlinked to that. So Tiago is actually the cousin of... It's Dex, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is actually the cousin of Dex. And Tiago is the one that rescues her from the situation that happens in the Shadowed Souls, which is how she then ends up in rehab. And then, obviously, she is the best friend to Avery from Shadowed Souls as well. So they are interlinked quite well.
But you don't actually have to read... If you don't want to read the 3 books to begin with, you don't have to, because the beginning of this book tells you exactly what happens to her.
Yeah, the prologue is full of context. So it's like, if you wanted to just go straight into this, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
Because it's all sort of explained in the prologue. And then, actually, I think it'd be quite good even to read this first and then to go back and do the Shadowed Souls. So read this and then go and do Shadowed Souls. I think that would be quite fun as well.
Yeah.
To get more context on it. And also, the series that we read before this, which was Deafened by Silence, is also interlinked to Shadowed Souls as well. Because it's all at, like, Waversea. I think Deafened by Silence is, like, 5 years after.
Right.
The Shadowed Souls, something like that. So I like that they're all, like, interlinked.
The people from the Shadowed Souls were in it, because they was at the McDonald's thing.
Yeah. Garrett did his little... Okay. Garrett was on his little...
Yeah.
Little car. Yeah. With his feet.
His little cardboard cutout.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Oh, fuck me, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no matter where you choose to start with this whole kind of like world that Maddison Cole has created, you'll have a good time regardless. You could start anywhere. So that's it. That's all our books for the day. Oh, we didn't talk about our favourite scene from this specific book.
Oh, yeah!
Rival's Pledge, because it was the one... Are we going to talk about the same one when they're in the shower?
No, I've got another one.
Okay, so my favourite one really quickly, and we talked about this on socials, is when her and Reed basically have this... So they have, like, their own rooms in the college or whatever, but they don't have their own bathrooms. They have to share them. So she's, like, desperately all the time trying to get into the bathroom to use the shower, but it's always occupied. And it always seems to be, like, Reed that's in there, her neighbour who lives across from her. And then it gets to the point one day where they both end up, like, running for the shower at the same time. So they end up in, like, loggerheads trying to use the shower. So they're both in the room. Then they're, like, stubborn. So they both start, like, stripping off in the shower. Like, well, obviously sort of like, well, I'm just going to use it. I don't care if you hear it. I'm going to use the shower. I'm going to get naked. In an attempt to make the other one uncomfortable. But then they both just end up doing it to each other. So then eventually they're both just standing there naked in the shower. And they're like...
Awkward. You know, like,
so
when you can
then?
picture them both, they're just stood there,
completely
just facing forward,
stark bollock naked.
Like, so now what happens? now we're both in the shower and no one's doing anything.
We're both in shower. We're both naked. And now, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like, because what, like, literally, what do I turn the shower on, or we just shower together now? Like, so that is literally what they do. They shower together. He washes her hair. There's sensual moments where he sort of like massages her, and then he like puts conditioner on, And then it just ends. And then she runs off and she like grabs his clothes on the way out and clears off, and it's actually quite funny the way it ends.
But he's like, she stood in front of him and he's behind her, and obviously he's naked and he's slightly hard. So his
peen
is brushing up against her
Rusting up against her back.
And
yeah.
she's like, oh, okay.
Nothing actually happens.
No.
But obviously sort
Nothing
of like
sexy,
that
but it was like a nice
tension build up in the scene. It was so good because it was like funny but also sensual but also sexy.
Yeah.
And then ends
it.
being funny, and she like legs it with his clothes out the room. Yeah, it was good.
It was really good.
Or his towel. Sorry, she runs out with his towel, doesn't she? Yeah. What's your one?
Okay, so my favourite scene is, so her and Everest then go on this journey because they're going to go and find the guy that kidnapped her back in the day. So they end up in this motel, and there's only one bed. Of course there fucking is, because there would only be one bed, wouldn't there? So she's in bed, Everest is asleep, and she gets she gets a photo from Tiago, and it's of his pee-pee, and it's hard. And then she's like, oh, lordy. Well, now I'm slightly turned on. And she's sat next to Everest. And she's like, oh, God, getting all flustered and that. Anyway, so she puts the phone down. She gets into the bed. And then they're both, like, touching but not touching. And when you're in a bed with a guy and it's all very awkward and you're like, clearly we want to have sex, but we can't say we want to have sex. So then there's like rubbing and stuff. And then they just go, well, fuck it, let's just do it. So they end up doing it, and it's absolute fucking perfection because Tiago done this all along. He knew what he was doing. He was like, I'm going to get her all rolled up and then she's going to end up doing it with him and it was going to be fantastic. And it was absolutely fantastic.
I mean, that scene was insane.
Oh! And then afterwards, so after they finish, she then like goes to roll over and be like, I'm so sorry about this. And then he like gets her, forces her down on the bed, and he's like, I'm not done with you. Arse in the air. Let's go again. And I was like, you are something else. Saying those words and doing those things. I'm really excited to see how the next book goes. Only because there's definitely going to be some MM. I think there's definitely going to be some situations where Everest's parents get involved in some stuff. There might be like a secret society situation going on.
Oh, I love me a secret society, yeah.
I mean, if you're watching this, Maddison Cole, and you haven't written it yet, you're welcome. But I know it's going to be really fucking good. As soon as I read that ending, I was like, well, okay. Well, I need the next book immediately.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Do you remember when we finished that first book of Shadow Souls and we were like, well, at least we can go into book 2 straight away. Yeah.
We had all 3 ready to go.
But
like,
now...
oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah. We do not have book 2 because this is a brand new book.
Yeah.
So, again, Maddison Cole, if you're listening / watching, we'd love that soon, please. But also, take your time. But also, if we could have it soon, that would be great.
Also, take your time, but also, don't.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it, guys. That's all of our books for today. I said to Tia I wanted to be done by 2 hours today. Like, raw footage filming 2 hours. I said to her, like, 1 hour 20 something. I said, we've got 40 minutes. We can definitely finish this in 40 minutes. And it is now 2 hours 50 something minutes.
Might as well stay here. Should we just wait until it gets to 3 for a laugh?
No, because I have to edit it.
Let's just sit here. How long?
We'll just sit for 10 minutes.
Oh, it's
might be like 8 minutes or
it's
something.
like 9 minutes.
Yeah. Thanks for bearing with us. Thanks for being patient, and thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting us as ever.
You've been great.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for turning up today.
You've been great. Thanks for turning up today. Just for context, that's what we say to each other all the time when we film, and it's been a long day. Tia will leave the house and she'll go, "You've been great. Thanks for turning up today." Yeah. That's what we say to each other.
Even though I've turned up here.
That's what we said at the end of the bunch. We gave each other a hug. We were like, "Oh, it was so good. Love you, love you." And then you walked off. We were like, "Thanks for turning up today. You've been great."
We're both like, there's something else we need to say here.
Yeah. It's like a tick at this point.
Yeah.
Thanks for turning up today. You've been great. That didn't come from me. You started that. I don't know. Where did you get that from?
I have no idea.
Did you just started saying that one day when we were filming? It became like a thing when we were really overwhelmed, and you just be like, "Anyway, thanks for turning up today." And I was like, "Tia, I literally live here. I didn't turn up. This is where I sleep."
And then I said it to myself in the car on the way home. Thanks for turning up today.
You've been great. Yeah. And now it's become a thing. So, another merch idea. People keep leaving us messages about merch idea. Someone actually commented on, I think it was Spotify. I was like, another merch idea. I think I'll just pass away now. We must have said that about 4 times today.
You know the girl on the scooter? we need to
get that.
With something. The guy that's drowning.
So we have like, we might have said this a few times, but we have like various memes that we send to each other on the regs.
Yeah.
And one of them, Tia's favourite one, is like there's this little girl and she's in a yellow coat.
Yeah.
She's a toddler and she's on a scooter and she just like really quickly just pushes her foot out and just scoots along like this. I'll try and put it on the screen if I can. And then there's one that I use often, which is, and I think I've said this before, it's the fairy one. Just wanders around. It's just a skeleton fairy. So it's a dead fairy. It's dead. But it's still wandering around with a little wand. Just like, da, 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 completely fucking dead. That's one I do like to use. And one I've been using recently is, what's his name? Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal. When he does this.
Absolutely losing the plot.
Because I messaged Tia and I was like, I've got so much to do when I'm on holiday next week. And I just thought I would add in 5 books for 5 days. And then I was like... with that meme. Fucking why not? And then the drowning one.
My drowning one's really good. Yeah. Halfway in the sea.
Take me out to the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
I'm done. We've hit the 3-hour mark. Okay.
Boom.
By the time you watch this, it won't be 3 hours. I will have edited some stuff out because who the fuck has the time to watch a 3-hour podcast? Not me.
That shit.
Yeah. Cheers.
Enjoy!